The world felt far too vast for a creature so small. Pip, a tiny gray mouse, shivered as the biting wind rattled through the dry, skeletal grass. For 3 long days, he had been walking with no destination in sight. Each step was a struggle. His paws were raw and sore, and his stomach felt like a hollow cave. He looked at the horizon, hoping to see another living soul, but the fields remained hauntingly silent. The loneliness was heavier than the hunger. He wondered if he was the last mouse left. Just as his strength began to fail, a sharp, savory scent sliced through the freezing air. Pip scrambled up a small hill, his heart racing faster than his feet. When he reached the crest, he froze in disbelief. Below him sat a house, but it was no ordinary structure. The walls were smooth and yellow, made of solid, aged cheddar. Saliva pooled in his mouth as he tumbled down the slope, his claws digging into the soft earth. He reached the base of the wall and took a tentative, shaky bite. The flavor exploded on his tongue. It was real! This wasn't a dream! He circled the miraculous building until he spotted a small, jagged hole near the foundation. He squeezed his small frame through. He landed softly on a floor that smelled of sharp, pungent cheese. "Hello," he squeaked. Then, from behind a thick pillar of Swiss cheese, a small brown mouse emerged. This was Chester. He stood frozen, holding a crumb of Parmesan like a precious treasure. Chester dropped the crumb, the sound echoing in the quiet room. Pip stepped forward, his tail flicking with nervous energy, but Chester did not run. Instead, he reached out and gestured toward a stack of Gouda blocks. Pip sat beside his new companion, and for a few blissful minutes, they ate in a comfortable silence. The peace was shattered by a thundering crash. A heavy thud shook the floorboards above, sending a cloud of yellow dust raining down. The house groaned under a massive weight. Chester's eyes went dark with fear. He grabbed Pip's arm and pulled him behind a massive block. A giant shadow, long and terrifying, stretched across the floor. It was cast by a pair of heavy, leather boots walking directly overhead. Every footstep felt like an earthquake, threatening to collapse their sanctuary. Pip gripped his piece of cheese so hard his knuckles turned white, his heart hammering. They stayed perfectly still, holding their breath as the footsteps moved toward the kitchen. The giant was close. So close, they could hear the floorboards screaming under the pressure. The tension was suffocating, a silent battle for survival in the heart of a golden dream. Once the shaking stopped, Chester pointed to a hidden tunnel. They didn't need words. They ran together, scrambling through the dark, narrow passage until they burst out. The moon dipped behind the clouds, plunging the field into shadow. But as they stood together, the cold didn't feel as sharp anymore. Pip looked at Chester. They had found the only thing that truly mattered, a partner to face the world with.